have never gotten ready so fast in my life. Let's get into this. Welcome to Graceless Crimes, and this is my YouTube channel. My name is Grace, and my channel is centered around true crime, of passion, panic, and honestly just pure foolishness. And what I do is I do my own research on very public resources, and then at the end, we talk about the case, we talk about my opinion, okay? If you have questions about the information that I'm talking about, feel free to do your own research and form your own conclusions, but again, all public. Now, if you enjoy this content, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell because YouTube likes to mess with people, and I really don't know why. Now, let's get into Miss Wendy Williams, the Queen of Yap, the icon, the legend, and her multiple interviews that she's had this week alone. I have a question first and foremost, and you guys can answer in the comments. Are the people who are currently in control of Wendy Williams' life stupid, or are they dumb? Imagine locking up a woman who has basically made a name for herself telling people's business and isn't even afraid to tell her own. Yeah. So Wendy Williams did an interview with the Breakfast Club over here in New York. She's talking to these folks via telephone, which I was already like, what's going on? Because she's in a facility right now in New York. That was my first red flag. She calls with her niece, Alex, and she is like, oh my gosh, how are you? How is everyone doing? How are you, Charlemagne? Hi, DJ Envy. Hi, Jess Hilarious. Nice to meet you. Hi, Lauren. Right, that's what I said, okay? We were told back in February 2024 that Wendy Williams had frontal temporal dementia and aphasia, and essentially leading to cognitive impairment, meaning that she couldn't speak, she couldn't walk, she couldn't talk, she didn't know where she was. But there's photos and videos of her from last month because she did go and celebrate her son's graduation from college. So people were a little bit confused, okay? People were a little bit confused. We listened to what I can only describe as a very cognitive, very clear-headed, funny, able to recall, shady as usual, emotional woman who was really just ready to go into the next phase of her life after divorce. And it seemed like as the story unravels that somewhere along the lines she got taken advantage of. You know, let's start from the top. So Wendy Williams had a divorce a couple of years ago. She was with Mr. Kevin Hunter Sr. He is from New Jersey. They're from New Jersey. You know, I remember he had a store around my way. I went there in high school. He sold like what you would like to call the urban gear, right? Timberland boots. Like I could get all my like jackets from there. He sold baby fat. He sold like all this really great stuff that I didn't have to run to another store to go get. It was in our area. And I remember I didn't like going in that store because I didn't like how the old men hit on me or how they made me feel as a 14, 15, 16-year-old girl. I knew it was inappropriate, but obviously they didn't. And so Mr. Kevin, obviously that's his vibe, starts dating this like 20-year-old, and he's in his 30s because that's what men do. They find a young girl, a dummy, who they can puppeteer. And they are together for a really long time. Everybody knew, including Wendy, that he had a side chick, a girlfriend, a mistress, whatever you want to call her, for years, decades. But it seemed like everybody has their line, and I think Miss Wendy's line was very clearly like, don't have a baby with her or whatever, or don't marry her, whatever their agreement was, because Kevin had been like in charge of, I think he was her manager at one point, or yeah, there was something with financially, you know, the business. So he never married the girl because he's married to Miss Wendy and the money's in the marriage, right? Anyway, she has a baby, and then that's when we kind of started seeing Wendy decline. We see her passing out on her show. We see her not be completely coherent. We see her eyes bulging out of her head, which she later explains in the interview is partially because she had thyroid issues, and again, substance abuse. We started seeing her go back to her really, really old ways, or her early days when she was on the radio. She was doing you know, substances as well, and so during that time, the show gets closed or the show gets canceled, and then she gets a divorce from Kevin Sr. And I remember her sister Wanda, who's an attorney, had a clause in the divorce papers saying, like, if Wendy can't work, then you don't get any more alimony. And so when Wendy got diagnosed with Graves' disease, or she came out saying she had Graves' disease, she decided to stop working. She decided to stop doing the show. And so I remember laughing a couple years ago, and I was like, Kevin's not going to get his money. So we fast forward to like end of 2023-ish. All of a sudden I see Kevin on my TV, on my phone, whatever, crying about how he can't pay his car insurance and doesn't have money to pay a car note. Call your side chick that you bought a condo for. Don't come crying to us because we're not giving you money. GoFundMe. Y'all better get to TikTok and start tap dancing. Because when you are in a marriage where somebody's making a substantial amount of money, the fact that you don't have like 401ks, stocks, savings, a business, you didn't buy another house or nothing squirreled away, that's on you. Sell the condo that you put in your girlfriend's name and leave us alone. And leave Wendy alone, please. Stupid. Then the Lifetime documentary comes out. I didn't watch the Lifetime documentary because honestly, I couldn't see her in that state. I am definitely a Wendy Williams fan, for sure. She's a Jersey girl like myself. She comes from the same area I come from. Her kid I saw her in town. Her kid went to school next to my high school, like she was part of the community, whatever. But also just, it was always cool to see like a Black woman, daytime talk show host. There were a lot of things I agreed with her on. There was a lot of things I didn't. But at the end of the day, I can't be watching somebody suffer. They don't deserve that, There was clips on the documentary that I just couldn't stomach. She didn't look well. She was incoherent. Her eyes were like really bulging out of her head. Her hair wasn't done right. They didn't need to show her that way. But again, she was part of it. She was part of the documentary. So I thought there would be a resolve from that point. What ended up happening was she was under the conservatorship in the documentary. During the documentary, there are clips of like her brother Tommy, her jeweler / manager at some point, Will, people around her saying yes, 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 yes. And her son, Kevin Hunter Jr., actually says in the documentary, like, I feel like the Guardian's not doing a good job of protecting my mom. And I feel like there are people around her, essentially he, and I'm paraphrasing here, says like there's people around her saying yes to her and this is not good. Like my mother's condition is only going to get worse. And he says, quote, my mom says she always talks about how she wants to work, but I feel as though she's worked enough. And she has people around her that are yes people and allowing this to continue. And, we've seen this happen with so many stars. We've seen it happen with Whitney Houston. We saw it happen with Britney Spears, Amanda Bynes. I mean, it goes on and on of just people just enabling, pouring the drink, giving the pill. Anna Nicole Smith. I mean, I could go on for years with this. And that's kind of why I didn't want to watch the documentary, because I'm like, I don't want to watch this because God forbid, right? Something happens to her. I don't want this to be the last time or the last memory we have of her. So fast forward to about a month ago, we started seeing some images of Wendy. 2 months ago, she was out and about and she looked really good. So I was like, okay, Wendy's back. Something's going on, because I'm not going to sit here and lie. We've all said it, and I'll say it here, and I hope Wendy sees this. Girl, we've been waiting on you. We need to know what you think about Diddy. We absolutely want to hear how happy you are about his demise, considering he was the reason why you lost your job in radio in the first place. Her presence not being here, we can feel it, right? So in the interview with Breakfast Club, I'm confused. I am confusion. She is coherent. She is funny as hell. She is whip smart as usual. We first find out that this court-appointed attorney, Sabrina E. Morrissey, has been appointed in 2022 by the court, and she has control over Wendy's finances. She has control over her healthcare and her personal decisions, right? So this legal arrangement came after a public feud between Wendy and Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo Bank, along with her former financial advisor, Lori Schiller, are being accused by Wendy Williams of conspiring to mismanage her finances, leading her to being placed under the conservatorship. But the little piece they don't tell you is that essentially her son, Kevin Hunter Jr., who was like 19 or 20 at the time, is able to get money in and out of his mom's bank account. He was sending money to his father. And I'm sure in that position, you're stuck, right? You're just stuck in between a rock and a hard place, trying to like keep a relationship with your father, your mother, whatever. And so the father's like, send me money. And the mother's like, where is all this money going? So I think there was some like disparity there. There obviously wasn't a power of attorney. So at this point, you just have what it looks like this person who's going under some duress in terms of her like personal life, and then on top of it she's got all these yes people around her. She's got people trying to take her money, and then there's evidence, written evidence of money, funds that she isn't privy to going elsewhere. So the Guardian comes in 2022. She cuts Kevin off. Kevin gets mad. He tries to sue the Guardian, saying like, no, you're not doing your job. If Wendy doesn't work, she cannot pay you. So one more time, call your bitch, call your side chick, sell the condo, sell your boots. Where's all your inventory from when you had the store in Montclair, babe? Sell that shit. Leave Wendy alone. Leave Wendy alone. You got what you got and you deserve it. Back to Wendy. So now people are like, okay, the Guardian is doing her job. She protected Wendy from the ex-husband. No, the Guardian protected Wendy from the ex-husband, because she wants to make more money as a guardian, and he's not supposed to get money anyway. Let's fast forward to present day. Wendy's on the phone. She talks about how she's in what she can only describe as a luxury prison. There's locks on the outside of her tiny little apartment. She's got nothing but her Hermes bag, a phone that she can call people, but when they call, they can't call her because I'm guessing the number's private. She's got $15 in her Goyard wallet. She was very clear about that. And she can't just like leave and go have lunch or go get her hair done or like whatever, which would obviously in my mind like help her mentally. So I'm a little bit confused why she's locked up in such a, it's so like maximum. She says all the people there in their 90s, 70s, 80s, they're not coherent. They try to give her medications, like she says they give her like 6 or 7 pills, and she doesn't take them because she doesn't really know what they're for. She feels like she's not going to be able to see her father because this court-appointed guardian had allowed her, because she actually needs permission to do anything really, to go to her son's graduation last month. And like she's like, I had too much fun. Clearly she didn't like it, because again, remember, the information about her having all of these illnesses and diagnoses coming from the guardian. So if Wendy's out and about looking good, then it dispels what the guardian is saying, right? And therefore eyes will be on her and she won't get paid. I don't know how much the guardian's making. I don't know if the salary is going to report it as well. But Wendy was saying because there was 2 interviews. There was a Breakfast Club interview and a Jason Lee interview. In the Jason Lee interview, she talked about how like, I'm paying for this lady's like flights and stuff. So she's like, and I have no receipts. So I'm just paying for stuff on top of whatever salary she's given. So in the very beginning of the interview, like Lauren, who is the host on the Breakfast Club, says that she went to the facility. She said she went to the facility and she's like, I'm here to see Wendy Williams. Obviously, this was pre-scheduled. She goes to see Wendy Williams. They say, okay, one moment, we'll go get her or let you in, whatever. And she said like she didn't even feel comfortable being in the lobby because of the energy and the vibe. She goes outside. She sees Wendy in the window. Wendy's like, hey, girl, you look fabulous. Love your Chanel bag. And she's like, how do you even see that from the window, girl? Because Wendy can see. Like me, I can't see a damn thing. But I can spot an Hermes bag. I can spot a Chanel bag. I can see a watch, honey. But it was just funny because it's very Wendy. And it was really nice to hear her. And not just hear her, but hear her full and personality was there. And it was hard to hear because, again, I'm thinking this woman is under serious cognitive impairment. Lauren says all of a sudden things change, energy shifts, men come out and say, there's nobody named Wendy here, you must leave. So she like skedaddles because she said she was nervous, and it was just a strange switch. Let's talk about her niece. Her niece's name is Alex Finney, and I'm smiling because I would kick a door in for my auntie, okay? But her niece is just as vibrant and just as whip smart and articulate and eloquent as her auntie is. if not more so, because her niece is actually an ABC Miami news anchor. And so anytime that Wendy was not comfortable or was starting to lose her train of thought, um, or couldn't speak legally on something, she would defer the conversation to her niece, which again shows me somebody who has cognitive awareness. And she's like, Alex, I can't talk about this. You talk about this. And then Alex is like, okay, I'll talk about it. And they had the same cadence and the same accent. And it was just so nice to see. I mean, her niece kind of even resembles her, like with the smile and the boobs and everything. But, she said she's there every day, all hours of the day. And she's emphasizing like there's a huge emotional toll on my family member, on my godmother, on my auntie, that's actually probably making her Graves' disease worse. She needs to walk. She needs to be outside. So it was just so odd to hear that she might not be able to go see her father, who's in Miami, who's almost 94 next month. She wants to go see him for his birthday, and she doesn't know if this lady's going to give her permission. Hell, she doesn't know if these interviews she's doing are going to be a backlash. But as Alex also eloquently stated, like, listen, me and my aunt had this conversation before, and we talked about, get ready for the consequences of you coming out and telling the truth. And Wendy, she cries in the interview too, and she talks about how she's fighting for her life and she's fighting to just have some freedom. All her stuff is in storage. She wants to go to Sephora and just get her father a little fragrance, stupid stuff. It's not like she wants to go and do some extravagant, irrational thing. She just wants to be with her family, and she really should just be with her family, regardless of her diagnoses. We don't know. She may have early onset dementia. As far as I know, it was alcohol induced. And alcohol can do that. It can give you dementia and it can give you aphasia. And that's kind of what had been said originally in these statements that had come out in February. So for them to say now that she's a hot mess, that you don't know where she's at, it's like, and it's just so odd to me, this piece of it. Okay. So apparently Wendy has twin cats that she got after the divorce. And the damn guardian got rid of the cats. Not only did she put them in a facility of their own, but then she got rid of the cats and didn't tell Wendy until very recently. That took me down. I'm a cat owner. I've always been a pet owner. I know a lot of you are pet owners. Why did y'all take her damn cats? Please tell me where the cats are at. What hell would I have dementia and not actually need an animal with me? Animals are therapeutic. Animals are loving and kind. What did the cats do? Please tell me what the cats did. Drop them off at the family's house. Like, I don't understand, So at this point, she had a divorce. Her mother passes away. She ends her show. You put her under a conservatorship. Now, you took her fucking cats. Like, now we're at a point where nothing is really making any sense. Tommy, her brother, has come out and said she doesn't talk to me anymore. But Tommy, you were friends with her ex-husband, and you guys were trying to conspire to get money because you were complaining that you were broke, and he was complaining that he was broke around the same time. And you're an op, and if your sibling doesn't talk to you, it's probably because you've done something horrible to them. It might not be horrible to you, but it might be horrible to them. She has her niece, Alex. She has her son, Kevin, who just graduated from college. God bless. She has her dad, who's still here. Her mother passed away a couple of years ago. And those are the people she really needs, and she loves her family. Her mom and dad used to always be right in front row at the shows. Her mom had this little squeaky voice, very cute. And I'm just really not understanding. I keep saying that because I'm truly confused here. Morrissey, this guardian, also there's allegations that she has a little bit of a relationship with the judge. There's been some back and forth financials going on. I don't know if she sent money to the judge or the judge sent money to her, but girl, you got some splaining to do. And instead of that, you're suing Lifetime because you want the documentary to be blocked, right, Serena? Because Wendy says that when the documentary came out, you were there watching it with her. She was taking notes. You were taking notes. And you didn't like the way in which you were portrayed. Her son said stuff about the guardian. He didn't like the way the guardian was treating his mom. He didn't like the way people were around her saying yes. And so then right after the documentary, now you're saying Miss Wendy is deaf, dumb, and blind. Yeah. It's very much giving you want to keep her money, your money, and your money, your money. Much like the Free Britney campaign. They want to free Wendy. So the hashtag is Free Wendy. And her fans have really launched this movement because there's social media is exploding. Like, what do you mean? Let's have a conversation, okay? This is a huge mismanagement of a system, okay? This is like an abuse of a system of sorts. A conservatorship is for an elderly person who is on a mental decline and does not have family around them who can help and assist. In order to become a conservator, like guardian, as a family member, you do need to fit some qualifications. Her son probably was too young at the time, but he's not anymore. He's 24, he's a college graduate. She's got her niece, Alex, who's an ABC Miami News anchor, and she's got her sister, Wanda, who's a lawyer. After these interviews that Wendy has done, Breakfast Club, she spoke to Don Lemon, she's called Jason Lee, okay? I do believe there should be some sort of like reevaluation of her mental condition, her health condition, and if she needs a conservatorship any longer. It's been 3 years. She sounds great. Her family's pleading for her to be let out of this freaking prison thing that you've put her in. And they will take care of her to the best of their ability.
I just want to underscore what you were saying, Charlene, as well, and that is, this is still a legal situation. So yes, there are things that my aunt just can't talk about. Yeah. There are things that we as a family can't talk about.
That's right.
You know, but I think that the thing that we can talk about is the fact that my aunt sounds great. Yes. I've seen her in a very limited capacity, but I've seen her. We're talking to her. This does not match an incapacitated person.
Not at all.
And she, like, that's why we say she's in like a luxury prison. Yes. Because she's being held and she is being punished. You know what I mean? For whatever reason that other people are coming up with as to why it is she has to be kept in this position. We're not asking, you know, for a whole lot. And I'm going to speak for myself. I'm not asking for a whole lot. All I'm saying is just treat the woman with dignity.
Absolutely.
And give her the freedoms that she deserves.
Wendy talks on the Jason Lee interview, and she says that's what she wants to do. She wants to get out, and she wants to start talking about this. Not only talking about what happened to her, but talking about how it's happening to other people. Wendy. This is for Wendy and Wendy only. Bitch, they messed with the wrong girl. You really locked up a big mouth yapping Jersey girl and thought she wouldn't break her own story? You really thought she wasn't going to tell everybody what's really going on? You're going to get out and you're going to tell all their business. You're going to sue everybody for all their worth, and you're going to do the thing you said you wanted to do, which is help other people out of this caca situation. Because this is wild to me. First and foremost, you need to get out, and you need to be healthy, and you need to be like rehabilitated from whatever the hell this crap that they're doing to you is. You know, Paris Hilton did it. You know, they threw her ass in a like reform for bad kids back in the day. She's a 41-year-old. She's a mom of two. She has changed legislation in several places based on these stupid reform schools. Like, what goes around is going to come back around for anybody who is doing this to somebody in an abusive manner. Okay, and the system obviously needs to change because these conservatorships, we've heard nothing but bad things. We've heard nothing but bad things. What I know is y'all are stupid as hell to think that Wendy Williams would break a story on Wendy Williams. She should be with her father in Miami. She should be with her family, and I really hope that she's there. And at the end of the interview, and I think that's why I started crying too, is that Charlemagne was like, you can't leave us, Wendy, like, don't forget. And she screams, how you doing? Shout it out.
Hey, Wendy.
Yes?
Come on, you know what you got. You can't just end with, we love you. You know what you got to end with.
How you doing? Shout it
out. But she will be shouting it out from the rooftops, and y'all are fogs. Again, go online, do your own research. There are so many interviews. Wendy has got her knees on lock. They're calling everyone. They're telling the truth. I really hope that the judge either gets scared into doing this because she doesn't want to get caught in her own scheme that Todd set up to come to us with the bullshit, or because she feels like she wants to be a hero. Either way, pick a side. But you can't have people locked up like this. This is not okay. I will be putting the Support Wendy Williams Fight for Her Independence GoFundMe in the description. Free Wendy movement will be hashtagged, and we'll be waiting to see Miss Wendy come out. Okay, I'll be the first to buy the line of wigs, 100%. And I cannot wait to hear what happens next.